We're back with another Baseballmapper Boys review. Patrick, Corey, you know us. We like to look at movies, different documentaries, baseball films, and want to give you a review so that you can check it out. Decide if it's something you want to watch. And today we watched a movie called 9 Innings from Ground Zero, a 2004 HBO documentary.
Yeah, did a little search this morning. This was number 2 on somebody's list of best baseball documentaries.
Very important person.
And it was pretty good. It's very somber, very serious. This isn't your typical kind of wacky review. I think we're sort of brings us in a little and, makes us think about what baseball means, beyond entertainment, I guess beyond baseball itself. It was a wild ride.
Right. More than just the sport, the stats, and everything. You don't get any of that from this film. And again, with the film titled with the words Ground Zero in it, you knew you were talking about September 11th. I think there's a tattered flag on the actual cover of the film. And so anytime you're kind of coming back to September 11th, I mean, you're getting those memories of what it was like. And the time that baseball was, everything stopped. I mean, flights around the country stopped. Baseball definitely stopped. And then a week or so later, it comes back. And it was a really weird thing, but definitely comes up in the film, that the country rallies behind the New York Yankees of all teams because of this kind of this feeling of support and brotherhood with New York.
Right. Yeah, they're coming off 4 World Series wins out of 5 years.
So a lot in a row.
Nobody wanted them to win again.
Nobody wanted them there until this.
Yeah. So really interesting. It gets you, if you're a crier, you'll probably be crying in the first 5 minutes. And then about every 10 minutes in little intervals, it'll get you laughing and crying again. Yeah. With stories of fans who maybe went to the game for one last time with their loved ones or whatever. But it was a good movie. It was a good movie. It was only an hour long, which I like a lot.
It's a pretty quick one.
Yeah.
This was probably the quickest film that we've watched and done a review for. So that is noteworthy. A lot of the famous faces from September 11th, especially in New York, kind of play a role in this film. You have George W. Bush. You've got Mayor Rudy Giuliani's in this film a lot. His chief of staff. You get a lot of the memories of what that time period was like. The fear, the paranoia, anthrax scares, all of those things that are kind of playing a role. And in the meantime, life has to go on. The people are down at Ground Zero. They're searching for remains. They're trying to bring closure to loved ones. And now it's like, how do we move on? Well, baseball. You learn that baseball is really the main thing that kind of gets the city through it.
Yeah, it pulls up these people who have lost loved ones just weeks prior, and had tickets already or came across tickets, and this is their chance to finally smile again, right? To cheer again. Favorite spoiler, I guess, minor spoiler.
I mean, people know how September 11th.
Right, yeah, right. No, from the movie, but George W. Bush throwing out the first pitch. They had a Secret Service agent dressed as an umpire on the field with a gun and all that. That was really cool.
We didn't know that, man. You probably didn't know that happened, but it's like you figure that has to happen.
Right. There's snipers everywhere, I imagine, right? But, just that they dressed up a Secret Service guy as an umpire. That's one of the ones you smile at, right? And then 10 minutes later, you're crying again because, there's a sad
family member who's lost somebody in the Pentagon or whatever. And there's so many stories that people who live in New York City are so connected, whether it's knowing somebody who worked in the World Trade Center, their brother is a firefighter, their father's a pilot, somebody works at the Pentagon. You see this intermingled web. And again, baseball is this common thing. This is something that, as a country, kind of brought everybody together. And it just so happened the Yankees make a run at the World Series in 2001. If you don't remember, that's what happened. That was the World Series with the Yankees and the Diamondbacks. So this film doesn't spend too much time on the actual event of September 11th, but a lot of that after effect and what it was like, because even as baseball's going on, that constant reminder that there's still a search going on. The actual Ground Zero site is still smoking. I mean, the tragedy is very much alive and present. The fear, the unity is all a part of America in 2001.
Yeah. So it's America's pastime, and it really comes together to pull America out of this during that time. So when Derek Jeter can stop by the firehouse, shake some hands, take some pictures, right. that really helps the community, helps America through this tragedy. And it seems, the players had a hard time with it. Like, what are we doing here? What do we even do? We're just baseball players, right? But just, making people smile again is it. And that's a huge thing. And that's what baseball does, in this several weeks after 9/11.
It's a great example of how we want that sense of normalcy, and it's mentioned in this film too. The idea of when you lose a loved one, you're mourning, you are sad, you want to fall back on those areas of comfort. And if the Yankees are playing well and making their way in October, it doesn't matter what the hell's going on. People want to go, and you see quite a bit of that in this. Like, no matter what the circumstances, people went to games in the World Series. But, I mean, ultimately, I think we both agree it's interesting to watch. This isn't just a Yankees documentary. It feels like an Americana documentary. It captures that moment in time, which we're always fascinated by. I was mentioning at the time too, you see a lot of stories that maybe you hadn't heard before. Yeah. People who lost their lives that maybe hadn't been highlighted until this documentary. I think they did a good job of that too.
Yeah. So there was several major players interviewed. So it was well done, I think. So I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that is, a little older, a little more dated, probably the oldest one we've watched so far up to this point, but still has some staying power, whether it's from nostalgia, our own personal connections, our memories. We stopped along the way to kind of talk about it. Definitely a good one. 9 Innings from Ground Zero, HBO documentary. You can find it where?
You can buy the DVD on Amazon.
They still made those, yeah.
But it was by HBO, so I imagine it's still available on HBO. But we found it on YouTube. I don't know. So we'll throw the link in the description. And
make sure you can get it and check it out, especially if you remember September 11th, and it's important to you. And even if you don't, just to see that moment in time, it's worth a spin. Check it out. 9 Innings from Ground Zero. We recommend it. You should check it out. Make sure you're following us at Baseballmapper, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you can catch our videos. And we'll be watching some more hidden little treasures like this one next time.